project my awareness to a different time and place. But then I can only be aware of that time and place, and I can't be aware of this time and place. You see? We can't divide our consciousness and be in numerous locations at the same time. Not without some special benediction from Kṛṣṇa. If our service requires it, for example. There's a very nice passage in the Brihat Bhagavatamrita where Nanda Kumar, the cowherd boy, he's on one Vaikuntha planet, and he's talking to Narada Muni. And Narada Muni says to him, you know, you really should go to Ramloka. You'd love it there. It's very nice. So he gives him the blessing to go to Ramloka. And Gopakumara chants his mantra, and the next thing he knows, the Vaikuntha airplane comes and picks him up and takes him to Ramloka. And as soon as he gets there, he goes in Lord Rama's palace, and there's Narada Muni, sitting with all these sages and discussing spiritual topics with Lord Ram. And so Gopakumara is very confused, and later on he talks with Narada and he says, you know, you were on the Vaikuntha planet, and then when I transferred to Ramloka, you were here too. He said, did you go from there and come here, or did, you know, what happened? So Narada Muni laughs and he says, do you think that I'm only in one place at a time like you? His service, Narada Muni's service, requires him to be in many places at the same time. And so he can locate himself in different places. Another example is Kṛṣṇa Muni. Kṛṣṇa Muni divided himself into 9 selves with 9 forms to please his wife, Devahuti. So the souls that have advanced mystic powers, for some reason, for some necessity, they can be located in more than one place. But the ordinary souls cannot. And, you know, it's like the old thing of pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time. When, you know, dividing your consciousness and doing 2 things at the same time is very difficult. Oh, look, there's a hummingbird.
Oh, cool.
right at the window. Oops, he's gone. Yeah. Well, anyway, this is a very pleasant place. I mean, I guess you can hear in the background birds singing and like that. And it's very quiet, very silent. You don't hear traffic noise or anything like that. In fact, sometimes the birds get so noisy, it's just like you can't even concentrate. It's so amazingly beautiful.
We could maybe cut in that bit of footage of the 4 or 5 birds. You could do that.
Oh, you've got that?
Yeah,
that's right. You've
put
got
footage
that.
on that show the birds at the window.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so do we have another question, or is that okay, or is he still asking?
No, he says he follows.
Okay.
Okay, so then there was a question by Laura. She said, you have said in one of the podcast videos that it is possible for us to become self-realized within 2 years. Does this mean all of us?
Prabhupada said it's possible to become self-realized within a second, within a moment, by chanting Krishna's name without offense. What does that mean? That means if one chants in pure love, then Krishna will respond by appearing to the devotee. I was using myself as an example, that as soon as I began to follow my actual realization of Krishna consciousness, that actually within a very short time, about 6 months, then Kṛṣṇa appeared to me. Up until that time, actually, I was trying to follow somebody else's idea of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. I had been in ISKCON, and I had heard so much preaching about how to be a devotee. And in the end, I had to give up all of those ideas because they weren't right for me. I couldn't develop my love for Kṛṣṇa on that platform. And I doubt that anybody can, because I haven't seen any people who are following that program actually develop pure love for Kṛṣṇa. So why is that? Because they're emphasizing the external devotional service. Get up at a certain time, and then you go to the temple, and then there's all this etiquette of bowing and saying certain prayers, and then there's this ceremony, and then everything has to be offered in just a certain way according to these rules at a particular time, and then with certain mantras and blah 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 and so on and so. And it's like you're always outside, looking through the senses, trying to execute all these complicated rituals. This is called Vaidhi Bhakti. And actually it's stated in the scripture, it's stated in the Nectar of Devotion, it's also stated in the Upanishads, that you cannot become self-realized from Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti does not, the result of performing Vaidhi Bhakti is not self-realization. Well, why is it then? Why do we do this? Well, what's the good of it? Because the result of performing Vaidhi Bhakti is to develop the desire for actual love of Godhead. Actual love of Godhead does not go out through the senses and involve manipulating the objects of the world to perform certain tasks. That is a form of devotional service, but it's external, material devotional service. It's technically called Karma Mishra Bhakti. It means mixed. Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Similarly, there's a kind of mixed devotional service called Jnana Mishra Bhakti. It means devotional service mixed with philosophy and knowledge and stuff like that. I'm doing a lot of that kind of service right now by writing Vedanta Sutra. And it's okay, it's nice. You can even feel ecstasy from it. But it does not lead to complete self-realization. It's a service I'm doing for the devotees. It's not something I would do if I wasn't in this particular position that I'm in, where Srila Prabhupada is relying on me to restore the original form of devotional service to our line. So, what is the actual process of devotional service that results in self-realization? Well, it's love. It's love. We have to love Kṛṣṇa. Have you ever been in love? Remember how that feels? You just love somebody. And it's wonderful. Until the day that you wake up and you realize that they're not perfect. Anyway, but that never happens with Kṛṣṇa. Because Kṛṣṇa is perfect. So if you fall in love with Kṛṣṇa, then guess what? Kṛṣṇa responds. Kṛṣṇa is not selfish. He is unlimited. He has unlimited potency. So it doesn't matter, even if every living entity that exists was to become a devotee, Kṛṣṇa could still reciprocate with all of them, and there would be no diminution of his transcendental potencies. So what is the point of doing Vaidhi Bhakti anyway? The point is, and this is stated in nectar of devotion, to develop the desire to actually love Krishna. And how does that manifest? One picks one of the eternal associates of Krishna, like Krishna's mother or his father or one of the gopis or one of the cowherd boys or something like that. And then he aspires to follow in the footsteps of that devotee. This is also described in Nectar of Devotion. He follows in the footsteps of that devotee by imagining himself in those pastimes, performing a similar type of service to Krishna. Krishna can manifest an unlimited number of forms. So he can be present in many, many, many places, and he already is present everywhere.